I'm going to walk through the process of getting R and RStudio installed on a Windows computer. With Windows, there's a complication. There can be either 32-bit or 64-bit versions of Windows, and you have to know which one you're dealing with before you start. To learn that, what you do, go down here to the Start, click on that. Then up here to the gear wheel, which says Settings, and click on that. And then go to System. And then in System, scroll down to About. And look here what we've got. Tells me a little bit about this thing. Windows specifications. System type, 32-bit operating system. Okay, so I'm dealing with a 32-bit operating system. You may want to pause the video at this point and retrace those steps. You may need to drag the cursor back to the beginning of the video to see exactly how I got here. But all I had to do here was know what I'm dealing with. Okay, so let's close this. Now let's fire up Chrome. And I assume that because you're working with Canvas, you're using either Chrome or Firefox, and you're not using Internet Explorer or Edge. Okay, and then let's go get R. We have to get R first. So I'll say R, CRANWINDOWS. Click on that. And pick a lot of these things. R for Windows. And we only want base. And now we're going to download R 4.0.2 for Windows. Okay, it's going to take a few minutes. 7 seconds, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Okay, so we're done. Well, maybe it's not done yet. It looks like it's done. So I'll say open when done. Okay. Do you want to allow this app to make changes for your device? Yes, of course. That's why I'm here. Select the language to use during installation. I speak English. We'll skip reading all this stuff. Destination. For the most part, you just check that you just use the defaults in here and say next. And notice that the 64-bit files is not checked because I'm dealing with a 32-bit system. If you were using a 64-bit system, you would want to check this box and uncheck this box. It's not so important that you uncheck this box, but to get the 64-bit version, you have to do this. And that becomes important when you get to the next step of installing RStudio. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that. Say next. Do you want to customize the startup options? No, accept the defaults. Next. And create the program shortcuts. So the following start menu folder, and the name of the start molding folder will be R. That's good. Next. And we'll associate R with our data files. Yes, we'll do that for now, but we'll change that later. And we want to create a desktop shortcut, create a quick launch shortcut. Let's create a desktop. Well, we'll create a quick launch. Let's do both of those. And we'll say next. And now it goes to work, getting it down here. Now remember, since this is a video, you can always just drag it back to an earlier point in case you lost track, which is really easy to do. Okay, and finish. Okay, now let's make sure everything worked okay. So I'll click on the Start button. And recently added, Well, let's go down here. We'll actually go where it's going to be permanently. Remember, we said that we wanted in the group R. O, P, Q, R. There's R. Okay, and in R you'll find RI 386 4.0.2. Well, right now I would right click on that, and then I would click on More, and I would say Pinned to Taskbar. Okay, what that does, that puts an icon to start up R down here on your taskbar anytime you want it. Okay, so we've got that done. Next step is to go get RStudio. Just put RStudio, RStudio, and I don't care about that. And I'll click on Download RStudio. Choose your version. And we want RStudio Desktop free. Download it. And if you click here, you can only get the most recent version if you've got a 64-bit version of Windows. Because what we're dealing with now, if you had a 64-bit version of Windows, you would click here and get this version. But we've got the 32-bit version, so we have to go get an older version. And here, RStudio Desktop 1.1.463, it is the one which will work with a 32-bit version. Okay? Click on the installer. This will go pretty quickly. And we'll open it. And of course, we do want to allow it to make a change. Next. The defaults are good. The default is good. That's all we really needed. And now it's going through its magic. Finish. Okay, go back to the Start menu. And let's go down here in the alphabetical sequence of things. And O, P, R. And now you'll find an RStudio folder. So open that up. And then right-click on RStudio. And I got it directly related to the window. Now it's messing around with my Dropbox. Don't worry about that. So what we really did, I accidentally left-clicked instead of right-click. So go down here to this thing. It's now in the taskbar because I've just opened it up. And right-click on that and say Pin to Taskbar. So now I've got it so that even after I log off and come back to this thing, I will have the icon to start RStudio down here. Okay, so that's all we need to do with getting this thing, and it opened up an old version of a file I've been working on before. Okay, so that's it for getting R and RStudio installed on a Windows computer.